Welcome to Rare Breed Brotherhood. Silence isn't empty, it's full of answers. Sigma males don't go no contact for attention or drama. They do it because they understand the power of silence. They value their peace above all else and know that cutting ties with the wrong people is the quickest way to protect it. If you're a Sigma, you've probably realized that your time, energy, and emotional space are your most precious resources. You don't waste them on relationships or situations that drain you. Going no contact isn't a punishment for others. It's a way to reclaim your focus, your mental clarity, and your peace of mind. When you cut someone out, you're not being cold or heartless. You're simply acknowledging that you've outgrown the dynamic or that the energy exchange is no longer balanced. You know your worth and refuse to let anyone disturb your flow. If you're a Sigma, this decision to go silent is one of strength and self-respect. If you're struggling with it, this video will shed light on why you do what you do and give you the reassurance that your choices are valid. Stay tuned to learn more. Number 1. They detest performative apologies and fake closure. For Sigma males, closure isn't something they wait around for. It's something they create for themselves. They've long understood that relying on someone else for emotional resolution is a gamble they're not willing to take. Performative apologies and dramatic final talks don't hold much weight for them because they see through the surface. To a Sigma, those moments often serve as nothing more than a staged performance to soothe egos or delay the inevitable. When a relationship reaches its breaking point, Sigmas don't seek validation, explanations, or last-minute reconciliations. They believe that actions always speak louder than words, and if the actions haven't aligned with respect or sincerity, no apology will fix it. They've already made their peace with the situation long before walking away. The moment they decide to go no contact, they've closed the emotional loop on their end. Sigmas view closure as deeply personal, a responsibility they owe only to themselves. They won't participate in drawn-out conversations designed to rehash the past or offer someone else a sense of absolution. Why? Because they know it rarely leads to genuine healing. More often, it's an excuse to cling to a connection that's already run its course. This doesn't make them heartless or unwilling to forgive. On the contrary, they may forgive silently, but they don't need the other person's participation to move forward. For them, closure comes from within, from understanding their own boundaries, accepting the situation, and choosing their peace over prolonged emotional entanglement. By going no contact, Sigmas prioritize their mental and emotional clarity. They don't linger in the past because they know that true closure isn't found in someone else's words, it's found in their own decision to let go and move on. Number 2. Emotional vampires are non-negotiable deal breakers. Sigma males have a finely tuned radar for emotional vampires, those people who feed off the energy of others through constant complaints, manipulation, or relentless drama. These individuals thrive on attention and dependency, often leaving the other person feeling drained, overwhelmed, and trapped. For Sigmas, this is a hard pass. Their time and mental clarity are sacred, and emotional vampires are the antithesis of both. Sigmas are not the type to engage in endless emotional labor or be drawn into someone else's whirlwind of chaos. They recognize early on when someone's presence is more of a burden than a benefit, and they don't stick around hoping things will change. For them, relationships should be a source of mutual growth, not a one-sided siphoning of energy. The quickest and most effective solution: cutting ties clean and going silent. Sigmas don't waste time with drawn-out confrontations or attempts to fix the situation because they understand one critical truth: emotional vampires rarely change. Confronting them often leads to more drama, guilt-tripping, or manipulative tactics. Instead, Sigmas choose the path of least resistance by simply removing themselves from the equation. This isn't about being cold or uncaring. It's about self-preservation. Sigmas know that allowing someone to drain their energy is a slippery slope that compromises their goals, focus, and peace of mind. By going silent, they reclaim their power and reinforce the boundaries that keep their lives balanced and purposeful. To a Sigma, there's no room for compromise when it comes to emotional vampires. Their energy is finite, and they refuse to waste it on people who take without giving back. Silence becomes their ultimate weapon, a clear and definitive move that leaves no room for misunderstanding. Number 3, they don't believe in explanations as obligations. Sigma males don't feel the need to justify their decisions to anyone. They don't live their lives based on what others think or expect from them. If they choose to go no contact, it's because they've already processed the situation and concluded that further dialogue is unnecessary. They don't owe anyone a detailed explanation for their actions. For them, their choices speak for themselves. While many people get caught up in explaining their reasons for every decision they make, especially when it's something others might not understand, Sigmas don't waste time or energy on convincing others of their personal truths. They operate on the belief that their actions are more powerful than words. If they've decided that someone or something no longer aligns with their values or their peace, then that decision stands. There's no need to verbally deconstruct every reason, every feeling, or every thought that led them to that point. For a Sigma, explanations often feel like an attempt to justify or seek validation, which is a game they refuse to play. They're not afraid of being misunderstood because they've learned that they can't control how others perceive them. What matters is that they're true to themselves. If someone questions their decision to go no contact, the Sigma will let their absence speak louder than any explanation ever could. They've found clarity in their own mind, and that's all that matters. They trust their instincts and act decisively. For Sigmas, the idea of explaining themselves is not an obligation. It's a distraction from their own self-empowerment. Number 4, clear-cut priorities. Sigma males have a laser-like focus on their goals, and they don't waste time on anything that doesn't align with their purpose. They are driven by clarity, knowing exactly what they want and where they're headed. This makes their priorities non-negotiable. If something or someone doesn't add value to their mission, it gets cut without hesitation. For them, time is one of the most precious resources, and they won't squander it on distractions or energy-draining relationships. It's not about being harsh or cold. It's about being committed to their own growth, whether it's a friend, a partner, or a work-related connection. If a person no longer serves their higher purpose, they simply don't make room for them. Sigmas understand that personal growth requires focus, and distractions, no matter how well-intentioned, only derail them from their path. They don't entertain petty dramas or toxic situations that threaten their peace. They're too aware of how quickly time passes and how easily it can be lost to people who don't respect their boundaries or contribute to their vision. For Sigmas, cutting ties with anyone who isn't aligned with their purpose isn't a difficult decision. It's an obvious one. Their mission comes first, and if someone or something doesn't fit into that narrative, they don't hesitate to walk away. Sigma males understand that self-preservation and progress are the true measures of success. They don't have time to waste on anything that doesn't move them forward, and that's what makes their priorities so clear-cut. Number 5, they're not interested in winning emotional battles. For Sigma males, emotional battles are a waste of time and energy. They have no interest in arguing for the sake of ego or proving a point to someone who's more interested in being right than finding resolution. Sigmas value efficiency in all aspects of their lives, and emotional back-and-forths feel like a pointless drain that serves no real purpose. To them, silence is far more powerful than any verbal sparring match could ever be. When conflict arises, many people get caught up in the need to win the argument, whether through clever comebacks, guilt-tripping, or emotional one-upmanship. But Sigmas see this as a losing game. Why? Because emotional battles rarely solve the underlying issues. They only create more friction, resentment, and wasted energy. Sigmas aren't playing for ego points. They're playing for peace, and that's a game they know how to win by simply walking away. Their silence isn't about avoiding confrontation. It's about rising above it. By refusing to engage, they send a clear message. They don't need to explain themselves, justify their decisions, or prove their worth. They know who they are and what they stand for, and they won't waste energy convincing others of that. Their silence becomes the ultimate checkmate because it deprives the other person of the validation or reaction they're often seeking. For Sigmas, peace of mind is the ultimate goal. They would rather preserve their energy for things that truly matter than get tangled in petty disputes. Their silence isn't weakness, it's strategy. It shows that they're not interested in playing emotional games. They're too focused on building a life that doesn't revolve around unnecessary drama. In their world, walking away isn't losing, it's mastering the art of letting go. Number 6, an invitation to evolve. For Sigma males, going no contact is not about punishment or revenge, it's an invitation for growth. They don't engage in emotional games or hold grudges. Instead, they use silence as a powerful tool to create space for reflection and evolution. When a Sigma pulls away, it's not out of malice, but as a way to give the other person the opportunity to realize what's truly important and, ideally, step up. They understand that sometimes people only recognize their own shortcomings or value in a relationship when they're faced with the absence of it. If someone genuinely values a Sigma, the silence will trigger introspection. It serves as a moment of clarity, forcing the person to reflect on their actions and the consequences of their behavior. Sigma males don't need to explain themselves because they trust that true growth comes from within. They believe that if the other person truly respects them, they will take the time to evaluate what they've lost and learn from it. This isn't about giving ultimatums or waiting for apologies. It's about giving the person a chance to rise to the occasion. If they do, it's a natural evolution of the relationship. If they don't, the Sigma has already moved on, leaving behind the clutter of unproductive interactions. For Sigmas, growth is a constant process, and they're not going to waste time with anyone who isn't willing to grow with them. Going no contact is simply a way to let others catch up or move on, whichever they choose. The Sigma will always continue forward. Number 7, time is their most precious. For Sigma males, time is more than just a resource. It's their most valuable currency. They are keenly aware that every moment spent on meaningless conversations, toxic relationships, or emotional distractions is a moment stolen from their purpose. Time is finite, and they don't intend to waste it on anything that doesn't contribute to their personal growth or long-term goals. This is why, when they choose to go no contact, it's not a decision made lightly. It's a deliberate act of discipline and time management. Sigma males understand the importance of efficiency. They know that in order to achieve their ambitions, they must guard their time fiercely. Every hour spent dealing with unnecessary drama or energy-draining people is an hour they could have invested in something far more meaningful, whether it's working towards their goals, cultivating knowledge, or simply enjoying their own peace. For them, time is the ultimate form of self-respect. When they cut off someone or something, it's not out of spite. It's about prioritizing what truly matters. They won't engage in relationships or situations that don't align with their mission because it's simply not worth the sacrifice. For a Sigma, no contact isn't just about avoiding someone. It's about reclaiming their time and using it for something more productive, more fulfilling, and more aligned with their vision. Their decision to go no contact is a reflection of their discipline. It's a conscious choice to eliminate distractions and focus on what will move them forward. Time is their most precious asset, and they won't let anyone or anything waste it. Number 8. The power of controlled scarcity. Sigma males understand that their time, energy, and presence are valuable commodities. They don't need to be everywhere or constantly available to prove their worth. In fact, they intentionally choose moments of absence to create what can be called controlled scarcity. This scarcity is not about manipulation or playing games. It's a strategic decision to preserve their value and keep their interactions meaningful. By going no contact, they ensure that when they do choose to engage, their presence carries more weight. The constant exposure that others might offer, being always present, always available, doesn't resonate with Sigma males. They know that overexposing themselves can dilute their influence and emotional energy. It's easy for people to take someone for granted if they're always around, always responding, always engaging. But Sigmas aren't interested in being background noise. They want to be a force when they enter a space, not a constant presence that fades into the mundane. By stepping away, they allow the value of their presence to build up. Their absence forces others to realize what they're missing. It's not about playing hard to get, but rather about maintaining the quality of their relationships. When they do reappear, it's with a sense of purpose, clarity, and a recognition that they've remained true to their own boundaries. Their worth isn't tied to constant interaction. It's solidified in the moments they choose to engage. For a Sigma male, this controlled scarcity is a form of self-respect. It ensures they never become disposable and always remain in control of their own narrative. It's a way of saying, I'm not here to be part of the noise. I'm here to make a difference when I choose to show up. Number 9, unapologetic authenticity. Sigma males don't apologize for choosing themselves. Going no contact is a decision they make without guilt or second-guessing. For them, it's a demonstration of unapologetic authenticity, a clear message that their peace and well-being come before the needs or expectations of others. In a world that often values people-pleasing and accommodating the emotional demands of others, this can be a radical stance. But Sigmas are unbothered by societal norms or the pressure to conform. They understand the importance of protecting their emotional and mental space. For many people, the fear of being seen as selfish or callous keeps them locked in unhealthy relationships or situations that drain them. But for Sigmas, prioritizing their own peace is non-negotiable. They don't seek validation from others about their choices. They know that true strength lies in being able to walk away from what no longer serves them, without feeling the need to explain or apologize. This unapologetic authenticity doesn't stem from arrogance. It comes from deep self-awareness and self-respect. Sigma males have a clear understanding of who they are and what they need. They won't sacrifice their well-being to make others feel comfortable, and they won't apologize for their choices. If going no contact is what it takes to preserve their peace, then so be it. They know that not everyone will understand or accept their decisions, but that's a reality they've made peace with. In a world that often pressures people to be everything to everyone, Sigmas stand firm in their belief that their own peace is worth more than external approval. They don't ask for permission to put themselves first. They simply do it, unapologetically. Number 10, they see relationships as energy investments. To a Sigma male, relationships are all about balance, an exchange of energy, time, and effort. This doesn't mean they treat people like projects or see connections as cold transactions. On the contrary, they value relationships deeply, but only when those relationships add something meaningful to their lives. For Sigmas, the idea is simple. If the emotional investment isn't yielding growth, support, or peace, it's time to cut ties. They don't waste energy where it isn't appreciated or reciprocated. When a relationship begins to feel like a one-sided effort, constant drama, emotional drain, or unacknowledged sacrifices, they don't linger in hopes that things will magically improve. Sigmas aren't interested in making endless compromises to keep something afloat when the returns no longer justify the effort. For them, pulling the plug is not an act of cruelty, but of clarity. What sets them apart is their decisiveness. They won't stay in toxic relationships out of fear of loneliness or social expectations. There are no drawn-out arguments, no long goodbyes, and certainly no dramatic second chances. Once they've assessed that a connection is a liability rather than an asset, their decision is final. It's not impulsive, it's calculated. They've already weighed the emotional cost and realized that staying is no longer worth it. This doesn't mean Sigmas are selfish or incapable of love. Quite the opposite. They pour their energy into relationships that matter, ones where effort is mutual, respect is unwavering, and both parties grow together. But they won't stick around where their energy is wasted or exploited. For a Sigma, protecting their time and peace isn't just a choice, it's a way of life. Relationships to them must bring value, or they bring closure. As I wrap up, at the end of the day, Sigma males go no contact because they recognize the importance of their own peace. They've learned that protecting their time, energy, and mental space is non-negotiable. Going no contact isn't about being rude or cruel, it's a decision grounded in self-awareness and strength. They understand that not every relationship or situation deserves their energy, and when it's no longer contributing to their growth, they walk away. If you're a Sigma male, remember that this is your power, not your weakness. Your silence is your way of reclaiming control over your life, making sure that you're not distracted by the noise and chaos around you. You've set boundaries, and you've earned the right to protect them. For those still figuring out why they act this way, take comfort in knowing that it's not about isolation. It's about valuing yourself and your purpose. If you're ready to dive deeper into understanding the Sigma mindset and why these decisions are a reflection of your strength, hit that subscribe button and keep exploring. Stay true to who you are. See you in our next video. God bless you.